How do you prepare for a concert? Day 71, Ask the Maestro.
Well, Everon, you can see I've got scores here for a concert next week. This is about half of the concert, and you can see this is a medley of cinema music. So the first thing I will do is I'll look at the first bar, and I'll figure out how I want to start this piece. In this particular case, you can see I've written in here 3/4, so I'm going to give a 3/4 in because it goes into rhythm straight away. Sometimes I'll just give an upbeat, but I like to be consistent with my upbeats and my introductions, so I'll always write that in there. And you can see I've got this thick line that I've marked in pencil here. I do that every 4 bars. If it's a fast rhythmic pattern, it's very easy to get lost when you're reading the score, especially if it's a score that you don't know terribly well for a single concert, and you know that you probably won't need to learn it again. So every 4 bars, I'll create this this line. You can see as well here, I tend to, again, if it's a very quick preparation, I don't have a lot of time, then I'll tend to use these colored lines to indicate tempo differences. I have about 2 hours worth of music to learn in total for this concert, and I won't be performing it again. So I'm making these changes. I've mentioned about every 4 bars, I'll make these thick lines. If there is a particular pattern which doesn't fall within the 4 bars, then I'll notate that at the start, at the top. So this is a 2-bar phrase here before I go into a tempo change. So I'll go through the whole score doing that. I'll also, on a separate pass, go through the score, and I'll find where I need to give specific cues. So there's a particular flute solo coming up here. There's an oboe solo coming up here, and I know that I'll probably want to bring in the brass and the lower woodwind as a chord there. I'll also mark in color, just because this is how I work fast. That's obviously a rallentando and then back into a tempo. There's another cue for a timp player. So I'll go through my entire score doing that. And then it's a case of looking at the harmonies, looking at all the parts. Is there anything important that I might want to be aware of? Things like crescendos, going to fortissimos. How do I stop at the end? I'll study the score thoroughly. I'll go through it 10 times, 15 times, figure out what I need. But I'll only do that once I've marked up the score fully. So, another question answered. Another mystery solved. Yes, it's me, Robert Emery. I'll see you tomorrow.